Some of you might be thinking that maybe I ran away after watching episode 1 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy because I didn't do episode 1 and 2 back to back. But that's not what happened. You ever have one of those moments where you like get a feeling about something? I basically had that moment. I had like a voice telling me, yeah, maybe you shouldn't watch this episode right after the other one. You know, take a day and then watch it. It turns out that voice was right because had I watched the other episode right after the first one, I would have taken a hot poker and jammed it into my eye socket in an attempt to give myself a lobotomy to get this god awful crap out of my head. Yes, it was that bad. Yeah, so we're back to episode 2 of this absolutely horrendous monstrosity that they've turned into what's supposed to be modern day Star Trek because apparently they believe people give a shit about any of this. Can't possibly fathom why, but I tell you, the best way to explain this episode, and you will find out exactly their reasons for it, is that basically someone with absolutely no common sense, aka a window licker, decided to write this episode like they're writing some kind of teen drama from 1998, even though they were born in like 2005, have no idea what the 90s was like, have no idea how to write a drama, have no idea how science fiction works, have no idea how common sense works, and just decided to put in a bunch of the modern day crap, aka social justice nonsense in there. That's the episode, people. Yeah, that's literally the episode. But let's dive into it so we could all pretend to give a crap. So it starts off with Holly Hunter, and yes, I pronounced her name incorrect last time. I said Holly Hunt, but it's actually Holly Hunter, although nobody cares. So why am I actually apologizing for the? But I apologize because I pronounced her name incorrectly. She's giving a speech to the cadets at this academy. And this woman has no inkling of the term respect and poise. Everybody else is standing at attention to the back there, and she's leaning over, giving this ridiculous speech about making your bed. Like, for some reason, people are supposed to care. And you see the cadets there, and yes, that's the gay Klingon, but the cadets are there, and they're looking up and they're like trying to listen to her and this crap that she's talking about because all of that is going on. And then she goes on to talk about how, after the burn, the Federation was forced to abandon Earth. Why? Why were they forced to abandon Earth? What was the reason? Seriously, what the hell was the reason for them being forced to leave Earth? The Federation's headquarters were on Earth. Why the hell would you leave it? It makes no sense. And of course, there is now some kind of war college on Earth because that was a thing for some reason, and we're supposed to care because I'm not sure why, but that's what's going on because there are all sorts of nonsensical things going on there. And I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. The burn is the worst thing to ever happen to Star Trek. Absolutely worst thing to ever happen to Star Trek. Really the worst freaking thing to ever happen to Star Trek, because she even makes a point to say that one of the good things that now this is our time, this is our opportunity to do things. And I'm like, oh my god, you're just going to hear how many references in this, because the only thing the burn is good for is it gives them an opportunity to start to just dick around with everything that made Star Trek good. They could be like, oh, we're starting from scratch now. We're doing all of this. No, you literally have 1,000 years between the last Star Trek and this new age crap that they're doing. You have stories you could tell in between, but no, let's just do the burn and do all of this. I mean, I really hope to God that they're going to tell everybody, you know what, this burn takes place in an alternate reality and it has nothing to do with the main Trek line because this is just crap. That's all this is, just really, really ridiculous crap that nobody cares about. And she drambles on with this crap she's talking about, and the cadets are standing there they're so interested, and I couldn't give a flying foot out of anything in regards to it. So we get to this class now, right, where the doctor is telling them that they have some kind of, I don't know, goop or a mucus thing that they have to, you know, care for like 5 days. And if it gets on your clothes, it immediately starts to grow. And the only way to get it off is to like freeze it or something like that. And that's, and if that happens, you get a C. So hologram girl asks, well, how do you fail the class? And the hologram doctor says, if you die. So I don't know, maybe that's a joke. Maybe it's reality. I don't understand why they're giving dangerous mucus to who are these people are supposed to be the best of the best, but they're idiots. But okay, so that's a thing that they're doing because they have nothing better to do with their lives. Yes, that's it. Giving them dangerous mucus, and if they do anything with it, they die. Yeah, that's how you do it. And then you have this Vulcan teaching a class. Meanwhile, Caleb and the bully moron are like, throwing words for each other back and forth and talking about who have small penises and all kind of thing. And I'm sure the Klingon was listening to that very clearly, but that's just the nonsense that they expect people to care about. This guy is like the worst looking Vulcan I've ever seen. He does, I mean, you know how Vulcans are supposed to not really have emotion. It's supposed to be very, very controlled individuals. He has it written all over his face and it's saying, I don't want to be here. This paycheck is not worth it. Please, for the love of God, let me leave. That's what he's saying. You could literally see it on this guy's face. He doesn't want to be here any more than any of us do. He's getting a paycheck, and even that's not enough for the brain cells he's killing. What else is new? I get back there, and there's the Vulcan again because he's got his eye piercing. Yeah, that's not gay. All of that. And even now, Caleb, they're cracking his neck like he's not interested. I mean, the rest of us aren't either, but why not? And here, like I said, there's a war college on Earth now because Earth was isolationist after the Federation left Earth after the birth, which makes no freaking sense. Your headquarters is on Earth. Why would you leave? But again, you're not supposed to ask these questions. You're just supposed to go, okay, that's part of the plot. So sure, let's just go along with that crap. I'm going to be skipping through a lot of this nonsense, but get to it. So they get to this part now where they're doing, like, they're out in the rain, and this Jem'Hadar woman who should not exist is teaching them, combat training. And I kid you not, there were two parts in this that actually made me laugh. The first thing she says is that combat training isn't about, this class isn't about fighting, it's about me, right? It's about me. That's what the combat training is about, right? I don't know how a overweight woman is really supposed to teach you combat training, but okay, so what not. And she is there yammering on to them. And she actually says this one line to this cadet, right? This one who's freaking out. It says to this cadet that, you will face death. I go, there's like, death has eyes. She actually, death has eyes. It tell I laugh. I really did freaking laugh because the way she says it is so terrible. The acting that she's putting on is just absolutely horrendous. I mean, this person should not actually exist, but absolutely horrendous. That she says that death has eyes. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you faced it already. Sure, why not? And she's, barking at this cadet who gets all terrified and runs away because that's a thing that we're supposed to care about. And Hollyonte is still yammering on. And then we get to other crap that isn't of any interest. I'm just gonna again skip past things I don't care about because I really stop giving a crap. And we have this one here, right? And I'm not mistaken, this is the rock creature from Star Trek Prodigy, I think it is, right? But the voice doesn't sound the same. So I don't know if it's like a different species, but it's supposed to be the same creature, but whatever. Cares at this point, right? Anyway, that's what's going on. And these three are sitting there with their goo on the ground for some reason. And Caleb is like, I don't care and I have things to do. And they're walking and all this and oh look, we're touching hands. We're so modern and happy and all of this crap that no one cares about. Right? So they have room assignments that they're going to get, right? And they have to share rooms. And Caleb actually says sharing rooms, that's like fascism. No, it isn't, you idiot. That's not fascism. That's not fascism at all. But no, let's just spout out words that we think those who live online will hear and go, hey, you know what? Star Trek Starfleet Academy just used the word fascism. Let's all run to watch 2 minutes of it and then never come back. That's what they want to do. It's not fascism at all. Oh God, you idiot. Anyway, so then, Miss, I need to be important because I'm like 90 pounds and I want everybody to mind my business and do what I'm doing. Basically tells Caleb that, they're going to be, they're basically going to end up sharing, they're going to be across the hall from each other because why not separate the male and female in the front of that? I don't know. Apparently, they don't want to run across the hallway and get it on or something. She tells him that try not to hook up with anybody for the first 6 months. That way, you will be able to find out who's a psycho. And I'm thinking, okay, so you don't want him hooking up with anybody for 6 months because it's going to take about 6 months for your vagina to unclench or something. I don't know, maybe. But honestly, this actually comes back as very sage advice later on. It was totally ridiculous at this point. Like, you're telling him who he should and shouldn't hook up with. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but whatever. Okay. So yeah, that's what she tells him. And then Caleb gets to find out that his room is across the hall from her. He goes to it and his roommate is Bully Boy. And oh no, they don't like each other. And they have a back and forth yammering nonsensical thing that nobody cares about. And then we have this scene where the doctor is literally hounding Holly Hunter because he has something he wants to say. They're going like this turbo lift and it has like seats in there and she's moving around to get away from him, and he keeps following her and all of this. And you see, here's the thing about it. You remember why I ended up saying that this thing felt like somebody wrote this for like a 1998 drama? This is the thing about it. They're acting like this is supposed to be some kind of school where, there is this teacher hounding this principal for something. No, this is Starfleet. There is a chain of command. All that had to happen was he had to come to them, and all she had to say was, listen, doctor, put your recommendation in writing and submit it. I'm very busy. And the moment, bam, that's it. That's it. But no, we have to have this whole, oh, he's so following her around and he wants to sit together. And again, she's wearing glasses. I don't know why, because they cured the ability to have, make sure everybody now have perfect eyesight. So apparently you don't think these things through when you're an idiot, but still, whatever. That's what's going on. So, and then, she literally takes us and says to him, doctor, I will literally do anything to get this conversation to end. There is no attempt at a chain of command here. It's just, let's do whatever the hell we want to do. Yippee woo, and all of that crap. Oh, yeah, boy. It is so nonsensical. It's not even funny. That's what's going on. It's just absolute and utter crap. And then the Gem Hadar basically tells her that, there's a Betazoid delegation coming soon, because when the burn happened, the worst thing to ever happen to Star Trek, the Betazoids broke away from the Federation and basically built kind of hid themselves behind some kind of wall, if you would, and they have not been a part of Starfleet for like, as long as they were, like 100 years or more, something like that. That's what's going on. But they're coming there and all of that, and okay, we need to find all of this nonsense as we go along, because that's important for something. And then we go into Holly Hunter's office, and if somebody could explain to me why her office looks like a Japanese Yakuza bar, I don't know, because it's like the weirdest layout ever. It doesn't look like an office at all. It's just really stupid. And these two morons are in there arguing because, they don't want to share a room and all of that and da and all of this crap. And again, I'm just going to skip past this because this goes on for a little while and I really and truly don't care. But that's what it's all about. She and Caleb have some talk and all of this. Right. So this guy here is the leader of the War College, right? And they are going to be hosting this something with the Betazoid delegation and all of that. And Holly Hunter shows up there with bare feet, right? Because she's such a modern woman and all of this. And he tells her, regulation is that footwear should be worn. And she's like, sometimes I just want to get the pinkies out and I can get, because everybody wants to see your corns. That's what's going on. Right. Okay. And then he says to her that he's checked the roster and see that she's put it down to have the cadets attend the thing. And he says that's not regulation, which is right. Why would you bring students to this meeting? That's not common sense. You have a delegation that's coming, and they're going to be doing something. But she was told beforehand that the Betazoids are coming, and they will be coming with their youth delegation, and the youth delegation is the one that are really pushing for Betazoid to re-enter the Federation. And she's like, "Ooh, activism! I love it." Yes, because keep telling us exactly what this show is about, please. We really need to keep hearing that, right? But anyway, he says to her, like, why are you bringing the children there? That's not regular. And she's like, yes, we need to. Because, listen to this idiotic line. The children, the cadets, the students are the ambassadors of today. No, you moron, they're not. They're the ambassadors of tomorrow. You are the ambassadors of today. That's why they've come there to learn. So you can teach them so they can do better tomorrow. They're not the ambassadors of today. You 422-year-old moron. You are the ambassadors of today. That's why you are the ones that are going to be doing the negotiating and all of that. Not the children, but no, they are the ambassadors of today. I'm telling you, the window lickers that wrote this basically went in there with no idea how to do anything and just decided they're going to throw in as much crap as possible and hope for the best. Honestly, that's what's happening. Yeah. So she's yammering on and all of that and stuff and thing and that everybody has an interest and then sits on this table, right? That is just there and then, takes a drink of somebody's, just picks up somebody's coffee cup and just takes a drink from it because that's not disgusting and unhygienic at all. But she's such a modern woman with all these quirky little things about her. And apparently this guy from the mummy is acting like, these little things that she do is so amusing. So we can find her so interesting. It's not working. It's not working. Maybe you should go back and fight Emotep because that was more interesting than anything that's happening here. Honestly to God. Yeah, and she's walking around there barefoot and like everybody else is literally a head and shoulders taller than her. But yeah, sure, why not? Let's keep doing this because that's what's going on. And they're just yammering on there and one and the other, and they want to get the Betazoid back and all of this. And she's so want to get it in there, and he's like, listen, let's just have them come, see what's going on, see how we could work with, and we could go from there, right? Because I'm an admiral and I have no common sense. So yeah, it's gonna work out really well for everybody. And then we get Jetterino here delivering a class that is absolutely insufferable. And she says she basically started saying that, the shortest distance between 2 points is not a straight line because apparently she was from the past and come to the future and all that. And she says, why does physics hate me? And she calls on this one who's eager to get picked and stuff. And then this idiot, right? And this is the same one who on the first day ate her badge, right? Ate her badge. Now, as you can see, she has a badge here again. So either one of three things happened. Either it came up, it came out, or they gave her another one, in which case it's probably still inside of her. But who knows, right? This one actually says to the hologram girl who's eager to be called on this end that you're sucking the energy out of the room and you're not leaving any for the rest of us. You ate your freaking badge. You have the IQ of pace. What energy do you want? You probably need somebody to come to jumpstart your brain. That's probably good. But what energy do you want? If she knows something and she's giddy and eager, okay. Maybe they didn't call on you because they saw you eyeing your badge again to eat it. I don't know. I don't care. I don't like you. I don't like any of the people in this. None of them actually make you go, I want to join Starfleet. No, it makes you go, burn Federation, burn. That's what it makes you go. God, boy. Eh. But yeah, all of this nonsense and what and the other and thing. And then, Caleb is like, oh, he don't need to know this because he know about all of this and he could fix that and all of this because, he's such a genius because He doesn't need to be here. He knows all kinds of things. He was a rebel out there on the run and he learned this. Apparently, you get a really good education when you're on the run since you're 6 years old. And you also apparently never miss gym day, but who knows? Okay, whatever. Just whatever and whatever and whatever again. So then she tells him that, to stand up and tell us about yourself. So he stands up and says that, his name is Kilo. She said, I didn't ask you what your name is. I asked you to tell us about yourself. Right? And then you get to the part now where she says to him, like, tell me about yourself. Did you ever do this? Did you ever do that? Did you ever make a mixtape? And right there is another example of somebody who thought they were writing this in 1998. Because she comes from the year, I think it's 2230 or something like that. It could be off by like a decade or two, but I think it's 2230 she comes from. And then you went into the future like 1,000 years. How in the name of God would you know what a mixtape is? How would any of these students who have never had any interaction on Earth or anything like that know what a mixtape is? But no, let's throw these little things in there because we wrote this while we were very, very high. And that means everything that we put the paper is just gold. That's what it is, I tell you. And then the Klingon is sitting there because why not? Nobody really cares. And yammer on all this crap and thing. And then while he's walking out of the classroom, he bumps into Hologram Girl because these holograms apparently have moments where they could be hard light and when they could be, not, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Honestly, it makes no sense to me. And when he bumps into her, the goo that she has in her thing just spills all over him. Which brings me to three very important points. One, they gave these children these jars with these goops, and apparently nobody sealed the damn thing. That's one. Two, maybe this incompetent twit opened hers for some reason and didn't seal it back. Maybe. Or three, all of the above. So just think about it. When it spills on him, this hologram thing appears and immediately sprays him with some kind of snot to like neutralize it or something, because apparently giving these children dangerous things is fun. So they're all laughing, gip, 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 he, ha, ha, ha. And he's all upset. He's looking to leave. And once again, he never missed gym day when he was out there. And this hologram shows up and tells him, you have 8 minutes to get to your other bunks. No, you told them they had 8 minutes when they were inside the room. If he made it all the way out here, time would have passed as well. Look, you know what? It doesn't matter. So basically, he tells this hologram to do a bunch of different things, and that kind of overloads its sensors or some bloody thing, because apparently you can't make holograms or computers that aren't stupid. So he decides to climb over the fence, and then he hears this voice, and it turns out to be her. And I'm just going to warn you all now, people, this is a level 3 psycho. Right? Level 3 psycho. You know what? I should add girlfriend at the end there, because if I just say level 3 psycho, you might hear about level 3 psycho girlfriend. And she's like, where are you going? What are you trying to do? And he's like, and they have this ridiculous back and forth argument. And then she asks him, did you kill that thing? Like, do you see it dead? I don't know. And then he just says that, no, he just overloaded it. Because, you know what? I don't even give a crap at this point. So he's on the fence, they're yammering on. He comes down, they at the talk. And yes, she is a betazoid, right? She is a betazoid there, and they're talking and whatnot. And the thing about it is that when you see this partner, this betazoid woman here, right? She has brown eyes, but betazoids all have black eyes. Yeah, that's another point in regards to this stupidity, but we'll get to more of that shortly. So some guards show up there and stuff, and then they tackle him and all of that. And then in comes the Betazoid delegation. And you have to understand how unbelievably stupid this is. She runs in there, right? And then she uses sign language to say, sorry, I'm late. Jesus, in my God's name. Hey. All right, listen to me for a moment here, people. Even if, right, even if we assume that an advanced alien race would not have the ability to correct an anomaly that prevent that, if somebody's deaf, they wouldn't have. Even if we assume that an advanced alien species did not have the ability to repair, or should I say cure, yeah, what we want to call it, that if somebody is deaf, right? They didn't have the ability to do that. They're betazoids, they're telepathic. Why in the name of God would you need to use sign language when you can just speak to each other with your mind? But no, representation. Let's put that crap in everything. So she comes in and signs, sorry, I'm late. Why in the name of God? Oh, God, Father. Anyway, I tell you. And then you have this skinny twit here who's her brother, who takes up less air than air, but for some reason he's there because that's what we're doing. And they come there for this negotiation and stuff, and they're talking about how, they're really glad to have them here and all of this, and they wish to bring them back into the Federation and all of that. And the Betazoids are basically playing hardball that, they have certain demands and things that they want and all of this. And all of that is going on because that's what they're about. And the guy who is here talking, who is deaf, because I'm assuming he's deaf, whatever. He has this thing right here on his collar, right? And every time he uses sign language, a voice speaks to what's going on, which again makes no sense. Even if you didn't have the ability to fix somebody being deaf, right? You could have just had somebody stand next to him and he just telepathically tells the person what they want and what he's saying, and the person relays it. But then again, that was another point. How exactly is this thing on his collar reading what he's saying when he's saying, look, you know what, you're not supposed to think about it, people, you're not supposed to think about it. That's the whole long and short of it. They yammer on back and forth about a bunch of nonsense that nobody cares about. And then the gods, who apparently are the biggest set of idiots to walk the face of the earth, they bring Caleb in during this conference, right? Bring him in. Seems not covering over and plop him down next to the doctor who he bumps into, because apparently these holograms can be hard or soft, like whenever they want. I don't know, right? Yes, because that's the thing to do. You don't take him someplace else so he doesn't interrupt this. No, you bring him in there because we need this crap to continue on as much as possible. I don't care for any more of this. It's just a bunch of yammering on crap. That's what's going on. So the Betazoid delegation, aka this chick here who is giving off more horny vibes than anything else, says that she would like to get a tour of the academy to see what it is going on and all of that. And she wants Caleb to give her the tour because, you know, she wants to give him several things that aren't on the curriculum. So that's what we're getting. Yes. So, you know, they agree to that and all of this and the other. Some crap happens that nobody cares about. Holly Hunter and Caleb are talking, la la la, whatever. Get to the Starfleet Academy, James T. Kirk Pavilion, because we need as much of those member berries as possible to get people interested in all of this crap because nobody else cares. There's all kind of stuff there, and they're walking and talking and stuff like it. And I'm telling you, if you couldn't sense the need for her to just jump him immediately, I don't know what else they were supposed to be there. So yeah, they're having one of the most boring, angsty, teen drama talk crap that imaginable. And oh look, they're outside playing space frisbee. Yes, that's a thing. Space frisbee and space hacky sack. Yes. I mean, they haven't invented any new interesting games in 1,000 years. Boy, that isn't very, very depressing at all. Not at all. So they're yammering on a bunch of crap there and whatnot and the other. And so Caleb asks her, well, she asks him, you haven't told me why you were trying to escape. And he asks her, he says, you know, you haven't told me why you were there. And she's like, you know, I wanted to see humpback whales. Remember Star Trek, I think it's Star Trek 4, with the whole thing with the alien entity came and it was looking for humpback whales, they didn't have any. Yeah, that. We need that call back as well. Because why not? God, I tell you. And then she goes on with this thing like, you know, are you a whale or are you and all of this nonsense. I mean, like, well, whales are just so free. They have the whole ocean. They could go wherever they want and they can go there. They could do this, they could do that. And all this picture is saying to me, she's telling him, listen, you could take me right here on the grass. I wouldn't mind. And he's like, really? That's what this just say, because that's the vibe you're getting from her. She's not even attempting to play it coy. She's literally sending signals to him. I want you to impregnate me right now. That's what's going on. That's what it is. Because this is the kind of nonsense they want to shove in everybody's face when it comes to this. I tell you, boy. Yeah. And I don't know, her acting is just, I can't wait to do this. I just want to get that done. All of that. I don't know. I'm just going to skip past some of this as well because I don't really give a crap. So, Caleb, and listen to this, right? Caleb, one of the things that Caleb asked for in order to do this whole tour is access to the stellar cartography lab so he could search for some place that his mother mentioned that apparently isn't in any of the Starfleet Star Chart records. I don't know why he thinks accessing the stellar cartography lab would make any difference, even though he already had access to what stuff and they said that, they can't find this place wherever the hell it is. So he goes in there, drives it in, nothing happens, they can't find it, all of that, right? And then she tells him, could you just trust me, right? And he's like, okay, fine. And then she just waves her hand over it, right? Over the staff, just waves her hand, nothing else. And it just activates all the Betazoid star charts. How that works, I don't know. Like, how is it able to read? It had no access to your information. And even if by some miracle she had that information, isn't that kind of dangerous to have your horny daughter walking around with that kind of information? I mean, it's like, it's really weird. I don't know, but again, this is like space magic where anything you want just absolutely happens. And this is going to shock you. Believe me, this is going to really and truly shock you, right? When he does a search for what he's looking for, I think it's Goja 5. When he does a search for it, guess what? Goja 5 is actually in the Betazoid um, star system, which has been closed off for over 100 years. So, how in the name of God does his mother know about some place in the Betazoid system that was only there after they closed off over 100 years ago, which would have happened when she wasn't even born? But no, you don't ask these questions. This is space magic. Everything happens with space magic. God, I tell you, boy. Absolutely ridiculous crap. That's what it is. Yeah, they're just yammering on. They go back for more of their meeting stuff. I really don't care about any of this. None of it matters in any way, shape, or form. They're like 5 minutes of a meeting and then they break for whatever the hell they to do. And then Caleb takes her to see humpback whales. Yes, because he says, he can't sleep at night, so he just wanders around and he found this place. Love the security in this place, but yeah. Criminals are gonna have a real hard time breaking in there. Yeah, boy, that's the stuff. So she goes there, sees the whales and stuff, and it's like, one of them is pregnant and all of that, and la da 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 da. They sit down there, they have this whole moment, and she is just sending out signals. Please, I want you to take me right here in front of these whales. I want them to watch. Honestly, that's what I'll give them watch. Meanwhile, so then all of a sudden, the I guess the chancellor or whoever the hell, all of them show up there and they're all mad at Caleb and all of that and whatnot, because that's a thing that's happening, right? And then they having this this gala, I guess you could put it, and the doctor and this other alien thing is singing opera, right? So, like I said, her father came and took her away and, very upset and all of that. Okay, that's really, really enjoyable and all of that and whatnot, because that's a thing, I guess. Yeah, that's a real thing. What are you gonna do? That's what it is. Nobody seems to care about any of that, but whatever. Yeah, I tell you. And then in comes the Betazoid delegation, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. It could just be me, maybe it's so. But after you found your daughter just a few hours ago, basically attempting to get every part of her fertilized, don't you think maybe it would have been much more sensible to have her dress in a conservative manner and not dress like she's walking into a room screaming, I want all of you to run a train on me? Just saying, because this outfit here literally screams, I'm ready and waiting for you, Caleb. Let's go at it. That's what it says to me. That's what it says to me. Right? That's what it says to me. Right? So they're in there yammering on about all of this stuff and they're talking and thing and whatnot. I don't even care to find out what rest of them are saying, because that's life that we all are supposed to care about. Nobody does, because they think it's all well and dandy. But I get back to it, because it's something I actually want to look for. There was a shot in here where because while they're yammering on, Caleb and her are, doing things back and forth and all of this, and Holly Hunter is there talking about how, all this stuff in regards to it, because yeah, and there is his daughter, because yes, that outfit is very, very commendable to be worn. That is just absolutely fantastic. for her to be wearing and stuff. And she's more interested in Caleb than in any crap they're doing, and they're making eye contact and she's smiling and stuff. And yeah, this is it, people. This is my thumbnail. I was looking for this shot. This is my thumbnail. This is it right here. I can't think of anything else in this entire episode that actually screams, this is it, but this is the thumbnail. Yep, that's the face right there, people. That's a honey face. That is it right there. So, she makes that face. He does all of this nonsense and then he gives her the let's go and she's like, yeah, okay, and takes off. And then as she's heading out, her brother stops her and I'm thinking, well, maybe he's going to like tell her that, listen, you just got in trouble last night. Perhaps you need to be careful. And he's like, no, he says something to her. I really don't know what, because I kind of tuned him out along with the other them, but it basically boils down to something like, did you remember not to wear underwear? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, go get him, sis. That was it. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? Whatever. So, yeah. So she was out. And I'm telling you, remember how I mentioned the whole, level 3 you know, psycho girlfriend, you ever get into that? She comes out and does this whole thing where she's curtsying with her kids and all of this stuff and comes to see him and all of this and they're talking and she's like, why don't you let people in and all of that and all of this nonsense. And then she holds his hands and is like, you could just let me know. And this is where the really stupid part begins. This is where the really, really stupid. But look, it's all stupid. But here's the thing in regards to it. She asks him to tell her that, and then he basically tells her that listen, the Goja 5 place that he's looking that he found, that's where his mom is, and he needs to find out about that stuff. And then she gets all is that what this was all about? Is that why you wanted us to lower our wall and rejoin the Federation? Were you just using me? And I'm like, how in the name of God was he supposed to know Goja 5 was within your territory? You've been sealed off for over 100 years. How was he supposed to know that? Seriously, how in the name of God was he supposed to know that? And then she's all like, oh, you're just using me. Why couldn't you be honest? I was honest up from me. And I'm like, okay, all right there. Level 3 psycho girlfriend alert right there. I was honest from the beginning. He's known you for like 5 hours and you're already ready and willing to literally begin interspecies relations without pants with him. He just met you, but you wanted him to tell you his entire life story. What kind of craziness is this? And then he literally, she starts to freak out and like, you just using me. And he's like, no, I'm not using you. And then he literally says, the only smart thing I've heard anybody say in his 2 episodes, when he literally says that I've only known you for like 5 hours. Forgive me for not wanting to take all my emotional baggage and just throw it out there for you. I've lived in gutters and slept on trash bins and all kind of things since I was 6 years old. I've gotten my ass kicked so many times. And I'm just trying to find my mom, and that was it. You understand me? And he was right. And she's like, I was honest with you. I didn't mean it. And then it's really stupid. Because of course she can't possibly be wrong. But this is how they write these women, right? These emotional basket cases who want to hump you no matter what. And no matter how stupid these things turn out to be, they're supposed to never be wrong. That's their definition of common sense when it comes to anything. And he's right for telling all of this. We literally just let each other. I am just trying to do what I could do to get something out of the other. I didn't live some sheltered, pampered life. How was I possibly supposed to know that the place that I was looking for is within your territory? But no, because this is space magic, it must be. Ay, 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 boy, I tell you. It is really, and then he does, and then she walks away and he's like, does it basically, just go back to wherever it is you thing or the other and all that, okay, take care, fine, goodbye, and done. And I'm like, okay, yeah. This chick is a level 3 psycho girlfriend. You remember the 90-pound I must be in everything girl from earlier? Yeah. What she said turned out to be true. You really probably should have waited 6 months because this chick is nuts. This chick is nuts. She's a bona fide whore who just kind of walks around projecting it and then has big bad emotional problems when the guy you've known for like 5 hours does immediately dump his entire life story on you. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of my adventures with Superman. When Lois was like all telling Clark about, oh, you lied to me, you got me out to me. He's known you for 8 days. He's had to live with the fact that he was an alien with powers for, for years. But no, he was supposed to immediately tell you everything, even though you said that you wanted to expose Superman. How in the hell was he supposed? Look, you know what? That's an argument for an entirely different series. Honestly, it's an entirely different series. So we get back to all this useless yammering, and the Betazoid representative wants to know why they let Caleb in, even though he's a criminal and he didn't pass any kind of um criteria to get in. And then Holly Hunter is talking about he he completed his test in the back seat of a shuttle pod and he did really well because he's so very important. And then Mr. Man basically tells her that on Betazoid they keep their children behind a protective wall. Is that why your daughter's a whore? Is that it, sir? Is that why your daughter is basically trying to jump his bones 10 seconds after meeting him? Because if that's the case, I think you really failed in parenting right there, but whatever. And they yammer on a bunch of crap. And then he decides, you know what? Come there and he decides that he's done, they're going to leave, all of that. Which makes no freaking sense. And I will tell you why it makes no sense, right? Because the Betazoid representative was saying that basically they put up this kind of kind of protective wall around their system, right? And because they're there behind that wall, their technology is out of date because they have not been interacting with other species. They're isolationists, right? Keep that in mind. It's going to come back a little while to tell you how these idiots can't write anything, right? And that means that their technology is outdated and they are getting attacked by pirates. He tells us that, like about a month ago, they were attacked by some pirates, I think. And it's only a matter of time till their wall is breached. But yet you came to these negotiations demanding things when clearly you need the Federation's protection more than they need you. But skilled people like Picard, Kirk, Archer, hell, even Janeway would have been able to negotiate this in such a way that letting them know, listen, you need us more than we need you. But because we're the Federation, we want to establish all of that. No, these idiots couldn't do that. So they yammer on a bunch of crap and never do it. Then he decides, he's not going to do anything anymore. And they decide that they're done. They're going to leave. They don't want anything to do with the Federation anymore. Them done. So that was supposed to be something else. He comes in sits down there, talks with Caleb a bunch of crap that nobody cares about because they wasted the first talk they had. Is probably going to be the same nonsense again. Don't know, don't care. But then he immediately runs off to find this girl who was who wanted him to get underneath her skirt as soon as possible because why not? And he stopped there. He needs to talk to her. He's really sorry on her because of course it's never the woman's fault. It's always the guy's fault. She did nothing wrong. No, she was completely in the right. He's wrong. And he tells her that, if she could please get her dad to go back to the negotiating table and to all of that, the other, because of course these children have very much sway over the adults who are idiots. Yes, that makes sense. Why not? Because that's what they're doing nonstop in this. Yeah. So they go back there to the negotiating table and all of the other. And Holly Hunter tells them that what they are proposing they're going to do is that instead of establishing the Federation's head office in Paris, where it was before, yeah, so she is that instead of having the Federation's headquarters on Earth in Paris, instead they are going to they're proposing to build the Federation headquarters on Data Z, right? And that is supposed to be something big and miraculous, and in doing so, they have done a lot, and that is so groundbreaking and all of that. In authorizing that now, they get all stuff and then all everybody has to stand up because that's supposedly very thing, and they all stand up there, and then the Betazoid leader, he takes off his thing that translates whatever it is he's saying, and he just agrees. He speaks or something like that. I don't know. He barely says something audible, and that's the whole long and short of it. So then, this is the other idiotic part, people. Holly Hunter is telling Caleb that now that they have access to the Betazoid star chart, a Federation vessel went to Goja 5. And it's apparently some kind of outlaw place, not very hospitable and all kind of thing. That part makes no sense. And what they found is that on a flight plan, his mother left there about 3 months ago. Now, I thought that the Betazoids and them basically blocked off their section of space and were isolationists. But apparently they have shuttles coming and going from different areas within their system. Why haven't the so-called pirates or whatever just dressed up as everybody else, sneak in and kill all of them? I don't know. But you're not supposed to think about these things. You're just supposed to consume the idiotic knowledge that they're putting out. Okay, sure. Why not? That's the crap that they're doing because that's what's going on. So then he goes back to his room there that he's sharing with Bully Boy, and Horny Girl's brother is there. He has apparently signed up for the program now, and he's calling everybody bro, and apparently the three of them are going to be sharing this room. The room barely big enough for the two of them, but now three of them going to be sharing this room because, yeah, let's put as much gay crap as possible. Anyway, yeah. And he's like, is she here too? But no, apparently she joined the war college side for some reason they expect us to care about. I don't know. And he's just calling everybody dude and dude and dude, dude and dude and dude and dude, dude and dude and dude. And I don't know. I didn't like this guy the first time I saw him. I don't understand why I have to see more of him, but whatever. Yeah, that's what it is and all of that. And then he goes to make his bed because that was some crap Holly Hunter was talking about. And then Bully Boy comes over and helps him make the bed, and that's the end of the episode. Yes, horny sycophants, space magic, plots that make zero sense with massive plot holes in them, and as much activism crap as possible. I'm telling you, whatever voice told me not to watch this was right. I I could not have made it past watching these two episodes back to back. The one thing I am hoping for at this point is that these episode lengths get shorter from this point on, because you see this hour, this crap, it's draining. It's mentally draining. That's how bad it is. I've also decided, I'm gonna wait until we get to episode 5, and then I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a review for the first 5 episodes. Then I'm gonna do a review for the other 5 episodes of this, because I think if I just do a full review at the end, I might destroy all of this. So yeah, let's just give it 5 there. But that's the episode, people. So that's the long and short of it. That's episode 2. I need a drink. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring notification bell to be notified the minute I upload a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care and pray for me, people. Pray for me.